everyone, and welcome to episode 19 of Sooner Girl Sports Pod. And I am once again going to do this episode a little backwards than what I normally do. I'm going to start this episode with this week's Sooner headlines. There are a few things to mention, but mainly some baseball and softball news. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Jordan Bowers, our women's gymnast, who won the Honda Award, which is the Heisman Trophy of gymnastics. So props to her for that huge win that was just announced this past week. Also, our wrestling squad had 7 academic all Big 12 team members announced this past week, so congrats to them. They were Antonio Lorenzo, Mannix Morgan, Tate Piccolo, Mosia Schwartz, Seth Siago, Ryder Weiss, and Jacob Zimmer. And again, they are academic all Big 12 wrestling team. A side note, in case that confuses you any, our wrestling team is still competing in the Big 12 because there are not a lot of wrestling teams in the SEC, so the ones that do exist are competing in other conferences. So I did not misspeak on that. It is actually the Big 12. Also, on our track and field, I know that's one of those sports that often gets overlooked, and honestly, it's a little confusing with the scoring. I was actually asking my husband about it last night on how the scoring is computed because I was a little confused myself just on how that is calculated. So there are, in the SEC championship this past weekend for our track and field team, and the scoring is done, of course, you know, we have your medals, those top 3 who medal in each event, and then also you have a scorer. So the top 8 in an event will get a score for a designated point range, and then those points are accumulated, and that is how the team medal or place is determined. So I had never even really thought about it. So if you place in the top 8 of your event, then you are a scorer on that event, and you earn points that go toward the team as a whole and how they place in the event. So we had our outdoor championship this weekend for the SEC in Kentucky, and we had 4 Sooners who captured individual conference titles in their respective events on Saturday. And we had Agor Dwal in the triple jump, BJ Green in the triple jump, Olivia Luking in the pole vault, and Ralford Mullings in the discus throw. They earned Oklahoma's first outdoor SEC championships in program history, so congrats to those 4 Sooner athletes. And also our women's team finished 6th place in the meet, and our men's finished in 10th. Our women's golf advanced to the national championship for the first time ever since 2018. Our men's team also advanced. Our women are currently competing in day 2 as I'm recording this on Sunday the 18th. So be sure and check back on social media to see how they finish in the tournaments this week. For baseball, we hosted Texas in the final regular season series of the season, and I was at the Thursday night game, and I got to see my friend, so shout out to Nate Dogg. It was great to see you, and it was a pretty good game, and we stayed pretty competitive for most of the game. Ultimately, we did end up losing, but I decided that maybe I'm bad luck for the baseball team because I attended 4 baseball games this season and we lost all of them. So I was at home on Friday, and of course we came back in game 2 and beat Texas on Friday, and I thought maybe I was the curse, but maybe not, because we also lost on Saturday and I was at home on the couch wearing the same shirt, and we lost the series to Texas in game 3 on Saturday, which was senior day. 4 baseball seniors that were honored on Saturday were Grant Stevens, Reed Hensley, Dylan Crooks, and Jamie Hitt. So the boys will be playing in the SEC tournament this week, and they will be playing in game 2 of the tournament, which is on Tuesday morning. It will be 30 minutes after game 1, which starts at 9:30 a.m. It is in Alabama, so they're an hour ahead. So it technically starts at 8:30 Oklahoma time on Tuesday. And so by the time this show airs, we will know if they are advancing to Wednesday's bracket, because it appears to be a single elimination tournament. So if they lose to Kentucky on Tuesday morning, then they will be out. If they win against Kentucky on Tuesday, then they will play Georgia on Wednesday. So by the time this episode airs, we will know the outcome of that to see how they go in the tournament. And as of right now, obviously they are pretty much out of the running for hosting, but they will still be able to get in depending on how they play out in the SEC. So fingers crossed that the boys make it through at least the second round of the SEC tournament. I do think they'll make the postseason regardless, but their seating might not be very high, and I'm not sure where they will travel to depending on that. So we will await those results next weekend after the conference championships are played. Okay, for softball, I have to give a little shout out real quick to our former Sooner, Jordy Ball, who is now at Nebraska. We all know Sooner fans still have very fond feelings toward her and wish her well. And she became the 5th member of a very elite club this past week, the 2020 club. She, again, is only the 5th player in all of history to do it. I do believe the most recent, or one that we might remember, is Sam Shaw from Oklahoma State. That was 2019. But she's in the 2020 club, which means she has 20 wins on the season as a pitcher and 20 home runs as a batter. So that's pretty incredible that there's only 5 players in all of softball history who have ever made that club. So a big shout out and congrats to our girl Jordy Ball. She's still a Sooner, so shout out to her for that amazing accomplishment. But our Sooners, holy smokes, you guys, if you missed any of the regional softball tournament in Norman this past weekend, we had 3 incredible run roll wins 3 days in a row. We run rolled Boston on Friday, California on Saturday, and then again California on Sunday afternoon. 2 of those run roll wins were walk-off run rolls in the 5th inning. So it was just an incredible show with our offense, especially, and even in the circle. All of our pitchers made it into the circle at some point this weekend to get that postseason experience, and they all did really well, and I'm very proud of all of them. Going forward, we're going to need all of the arms and all of the bats on full power, so I'm very glad that they all got that experience. Audrey Lowry, she really made a name for herself in the circle, and I'm very thankful again for her to reiterate after her excellent performance at the SEC semis last weekend. Cassidy Pickering was just on display all weekend as well, when she had a grand slam on Friday, 6 RBIs, and Game 2. Gabby Garcia had her, I believe, 19th home run of the season, if I kept count correctly during the games. So basically on Sunday, we were batting the bench. We had Riley Zakay had an RBI. Corey Hicks had an RBI. Of course, Gabby hit another home run. Parker hit one out of the park, out of the back of Love's Field at 285 feet. The furthest home run that we've had in a minute for sure. First one hit out of Love's Field. Agbayani and Pickering both had 3-run home runs. And our offense, these stats are according to Chris Plank in the post game. Offense was hitting 500 in scoring position and 429 with runners on base. So that is pretty remarkable performance by our offense this past weekend. And so going forward, we will be hosting the Super Regionals in Norman this coming weekend. We will get the winner of the Tuscaloosa Regional, which will either be Alabama or Virginia Tech. That game is still awaiting to be played at the time that I'm recording due to weather. So we are not sure if we will be having a Thursday, Friday, Saturday Super or a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So be sure and again check social media. All of those updates should be available by the time this episode drops. We will have our opponent as well as the dates and times for the series. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. If our Sooners, who have made their 15th straight appearance in Super Regionals, can punch their ticket back to Oklahoma City to the Women's College World Series. I do want to give a shout out to my Sooner MVP of the week, Kyson Witherspoon, because I do think that on Thursday night I was able to watch him pitch. It was probably his last time at the Eldell Mitchell, and he was incredible. He had 8 Ks through 6 innings, and he got a standing ovation when he came off the mound on Thursday night. And if it all pans out the way that everyone thinks it will be, he will be going into the Major League Draft, so we won't be seeing him in Norman anymore. But I'm going to post a picture up on the video for those to see. These 2 photos, one is of his standing ovation coming off the mound on Thursday night, and also an excellent photo that was taken by the OU photographer Morgan Givens. He was sitting down next to my buddy Travis Davison on Thursday night and took this excellent photo. It's probably one of my favorite photos that I've ever seen. So shout out to Morgan for getting this picture. And again, I'll post these up on the video for those that are watching. So I want to end this segment of the show with my Sooner fun fact of the week, and it is in 2022, Sooners women's tennis team became the first Big 12 regular season champions for the first time in program history. The Sooners men's tennis team reached the NCAA Division won men's tennis tournament for the 13th consecutive time in 2023. So again, thank you all to everyone for your overwhelming support across social media and on all of the platforms in which you listen. I cannot thank you enough. If you do not follow me on social media, please go give me a follow. I'm at Sooner Girl Pod on all platforms. You can find information, bio on any platform is my link tree, and everything is linked there. Social media, podcast platforms, if you're interested in purchasing merch. Also, sign up for my new newsletter. It is called The Playbook. First one going out this week. If you missed it, you can find it on my Substack. It is available there. If you would like to have that delivered to your inbox, you can sign up for free on my Substack to have that delivered to your inbox, along with weekly episodes and other big announcements for free. We do have the locker room, my girls community. We have our online huddle coming up this next week, right after Memorial Day, so I will be posting more information about that on social media. If you're interested, girls, in joining that and being a part of it, it's only $5 a month, and there's lots of perks that come along with that. Again, you can find information on that on my link tree and on social media, or please feel free to shoot me a message at any time, and I'll be happy to give you all of the information. So thank you all for listening, and I want to introduce you to my guest this week. She is an incredible girl, and I'm so grateful that she took the time to come on with me this week. Cori Mathey. She is the president and founder of the first ever women's ice hockey team at the University of Oklahoma. She is working hard to cultivate an environment in Oklahoma, and she talks to me about how they plan to kick off their first ever season this fall. Is a message for Cori. I have played hockey since I was 4 years old, and I have always thought about playing in college, although I didn't think it was possible in the South. I'm excited to lead this team and showcase our talents in our first season this fall. Her mom is an OSU alumni, but she fell in love with the OU campus when she toured it and knew that she belonged at OU. So Cori, we're so glad to have you as a Sooner. I'm very excited for what she is creating and what she's doing with the women's hockey team, and I encourage you to follow her on social media. That will be linked in the show notes and placed on social media this week as well. But also follow the OU women's hockey team at OU Women's Hockey on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, so you can keep up to date on when their schedule's coming out. They will be having merch for sale and other fundraising opportunities for you to help the girls. This is a self-funded club sport. It is not a varsity sport, so any support that you want to send their way, I know that Cori would be more than glad to take it. Again, you can message them on social media at OU Women's Hockey, or if you want to send me a message, I will be happy to get you in touch with Cori, and they would be more than glad to visit with you about opportunities on how to support them. So you can find Cori on Twitter and Instagram. Again, I will link her information in the show notes, as well as social media, and Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the team at OU Women's Hockey. So I hope you guys enjoy this fantastic interview with sweet Cori Mathey, and I'm looking forward to supporting the hockey team this fall at their first season, and I hope to see you on the ice this fall. So enjoy this interview, and until next week, Boomer Sooner, cheer loud, and I will talk to you next Wednesday where we talk sports. Cori, thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to go ahead and say your name again. Now tell me the correct way to say your last name, because I don't want to say it wrong.
Mathey.
Mathey, okay. Oh my gosh. So I'm so excited to hear all of your things, because I just started reaching out to people, and that's how I came across the hockey page.
Yes.
And then you messaged me back and you said, hey, it's brand new, and you're the one that started it. Oh my goodness. So you are from Illinois?
Yes, so I'm originally from Oswego, Illinois.
Okay.
My mom went to OSU and I picked OU. She was not happy about that, but it's been wonderful and I love it.
That's awesome. Well, my husband graduated from OSU, so we are a house divided. So
Yes.
I understand that for you. I'm very excited that you picked OU, because I will say I don't know much about hockey at all. But that was another reason why I was excited to talk to you, because I've told a lot of people, we have men's hockey and we've had it for a while, but a lot of people still aren't aware of that even. And I was like, hey, we're going to have women's hockey. This is incredible. And so everyone's excited to
Wonderful.
hear
Yes.
what you have to say.
Yes.
So that's how you got to Oklahoma, down this direction. So obviously you've played hockey your whole life.
Yes.
What led you to decide to start that at OU?
Yeah, so I always knew, before coming to college, I wanted the big atmosphere, the football atmosphere, and it ultimately led me to OU, but I still wanted to experience hockey.
Hmm.
Growing up with it for so long and not having it these past few years was really challenging. Like, that was my way to kind of release some of my like anger, honestly. It really was. And
Makes
so
sense.
my sister, she actually started the hockey team at Alabama this
Oh,
past year. Yes. So my general manager, Ethan, me and him kind of set out, like, he kind of reached out to me and was like, "Hey, like, I heard that you kind of wanted to start one in the past but couldn't really get it running. Like, I would love to kind of help you." So me and him really have been working on like getting that started, and having my sister kind of in the background, like explaining like how they did fundraisers and stuff, really
yes.
made me push more.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, that's incredible that your
Yes.
sister did that, and now here you are following in her steps, so to speak. So, okay. So, how long have you been at OU?
So I am currently a junior.
Okay.
I'll be a senior next year, so it's our first season next year, so we're really excited.
I'm very excited. So, you guys will play in the fall. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, that
Okay.
is our goal.
Awesome. Okay. So, how many hockey teams are you guys playing other people in the SEC or just whoever you can find? Because I don't know how prevalent hockey is.
Yeah, so there's like D1 teams, D2 teams. We're actually in a division called College Hockey South.
Okay.
It's made up of about 10 to 15 different teams: Alabama, South Carolina, Tampa,
Okay.
Tennessee. So kind of, and we actually have more coming in this year, kind of like as like probationary teams, kind of ones that are just getting started.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a lot of, like, we'll have some here and then some away games, but it really is more like the South schools.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like it. That actually kind of shocked me a little bit.
Yeah.
How many games are you guys looking at playing, or are you playing an active role, I guess, in the schedule, or just
Yes,
okay?
yes. So we are currently trying to schedule, we are trying to have two away like weekends where we have to have at least 10 games to be able
Okay.
to qualify for playoffs. It depends on how well you do, but a
Hmm.
10 game minimum. And then you can't play a team more than 3 times. So you can play them
Okay.
up to 3 times.
Okay.
Because since there's not as many teams, kind of the aspect of it is a club team, we have to focus on like money wise trying to get the best for our
Right.
thing, but 10 game minimum.
Okay, that makes sense. So where do you guys play at home?
So we're going to be playing at Blazers Ice Arena in
Okay.
Moore.
I thought so. I thought
Yes.
that might be where you guys are. Do you know when a schedule may be coming out?
It should be coming out in about August. We're
Okay.
finalizing right now what teams we're going to be playing,
Okay.
finalizing the roster. Since it's a club team, you have to be a member of OU, like a student here.
Right.
But anyone is able to play. So if they have no experience, they're allowed to play, and we have stuff in the summer set up so that they will be able to kind of learn to skate if they haven't skated, and just really our focus is growing the game in Oklahoma because there's
Absolutely.
kind of a women's team in Tulsa, but that's really all there has been.
Okay. So how many players will you have on the team?
So as of right now, we have 10, but
Okay.
that's not including incoming freshmen that are interested in playing.
Okay.
Because just kind of even talking about it last year, the talks of it like happening, girls were like, "Oh, I could go there." So I already have a few girls that are like, "I want to come next year for this team."
Good. That is
Yes.
so cool. Like I said, I don't know hardly anything about hockey. It has been years since I even went to a hockey game. And when I was in college at OU, Oklahoma City had a team, which was the
Yes.
Blazers. And so I think it's probably been about that long since I've been to a hockey game. But I plan to change that in the fall because I'm coming to see y'all because I can't wait.
Yes.
So I'm so excited. So, what are some things that you have up your sleeve as far as fundraising or gaining awareness for the team and things like that? Or, like, what can people do to help?
May 1st, we're actually starting a popcorn fundraiser for each of our players. Like, they register, and it's $11 for like the basic ones, and then it goes up in price. That's our starting one. Next semester, we're gonna have a lot more fundraisers. I'm gonna set up a car wash for
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
good.
the girls, and then with help from one of the frats. And then a lot of like learn to skates and just like teaching girls how to get involved.
Okay, perfect. So obviously social media is a big way to, get the word out and having your friends and family and such to share everything. So I'll be on the lookout for all of that stuff when it's posted so I can help
Yeah.
share and spread the word for you. I'm very excited for you to get this going this summer. And okay, so tell me a little bit about just you growing up and how you got into hockey and things like that. What made you love it
Yeah.
so much?
Um, so me and my sister actually started out with figure skating lessons and she did not like it. We, but my dad wanted us to learn to skate. He played hockey in high school, and so when we were about the age of 3 or 4, he put us on skates, and we have played ever since. High school, both me and my sister double rostered on our high school team and a club team,
Oh,
so
nice.
very active, always gone for weekends. But I think the most rewarding part was definitely just like the teammate aspect of it. You really like if you haven't been on a team before, you wouldn't know, but being on a team it's very rewarding. Like I was a captain for a few years, assistant captains, and it just made me appreciate everything that I was given. It's a hard sport, I will say that, but it's been very rewarding.
That's awesome. Well, it's kind of combining two sports into one, honestly,
Yes.
because you're ice skating plus playing hockey, and that is another thing that blows my mind, if we're being honest, because I have always been fascinated with ice skating, and also in turn even just fascinated with hockey as the sport, even though I don't know a ton about it, because I don't know how all of these people can just skate around and do all the things. Like, it's so
Yes.
mesmerizing to me, and I love watching figure skating. So anyway, for hockey being two sports in one, it's really fun to watch. It's incredible, and I mean, I think that says a lot about you and the others as athletes, because there's a lot going on
Oh,
at one time.
absolutely.
That is
Every weekend. I mean, during like in high school, I kind of because I didn't play AAA, I played AA, and throughout my life, my parents were like, "You could go and play, but like your life is gonna be a lot more busier than it already is." And I decided like I want to have a high school experience and still
yeah.
be able to do everything. Like in high school, I also did track, so
Okay.
I was very busy, but I was able to. It also taught me a lot how to manage my schedule.
Yeah.
Um, because I was always gone, but it truly was one of the best decisions he
That's
could have made
awesome.
for me.
Well, it sounds like, like you said, talking about all of the good things about being on a team. And that's something that a lot of people don't think about. Just sports in general, it's not just about playing at the next level or
Mhm.
whatever it taught you, like you said, about time management and things like that are important for life. So
Yeah.
I think that's something that gets forgotten a lot of times, which is easy to do, but
Yes.
it's a good reminder, especially coming from you. So okay, so you're looking at building the team and looking at the incoming freshmen coming in. So this summer, tell me again what you have on deck for the summer. So like anybody can come and try out, so to speak, or play, or do they have to try out?
Yes. Um, it's not really, yeah, like they could. They do unfortunately have to be like a student of OU.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, we're gonna have like a lot of skates too this summer with the coaches and with me because even though I'm from Chicago, I'm gonna be here this summer and kind of, I already have girls that have been interested in playing, but they're like, I don't really have a lot of experience. So I'm setting up on the weekends, like an hour skate every week to kind of
Okay.
just work on those skills so that come the season, we are better. Because Alabama, their first season, a lot of the girls were new and they didn't have an amazing season. But the next year, because they had their first season, there were so many more girls that wanted to come in.
That's awesome. Well, of course, starting anything from the ground up is
Yes.
extremely difficult at times, but rewarding. So, like you said, I think over time, as the exposure gets there and you guys start playing and getting seen, more people will want to not only come play, but also watch. So, that's exciting as
Yeah.
well. Okay, so I'm excited to see how things go for you as you build this up, because I can't imagine, like you said, just people are going to show up and say, "Hey, I don't have much experience,"
Yeah.
and I hope that they can skate because I just think of somebody like me that would show up. I don't even know that I would show up in the first place. But I'm excited for you to have your new crowd coming in and lots of new prospects. So that's very exciting. I'm ready for you guys to get started so I can come watch.
Yeah, no, and I also am wanting to kind of set up maybe like once a month we can have like skate with the players where people that don't play can come out and kind of hear about our program, and it's like a little fee that you pay. It helps support us, but you're also learning more about us and what we're trying to do because we truly, I know there are some like younger girls that play at Blazers on the like the Warriors organization, and just like really getting them excited more about playing and giving them opportunities to maybe if they don't want to go out of state for college, they can do this in the future.
Yes. That is a very good point because obviously when you think hockey, you don't think Oklahoma or
Yeah.
Alabama, or you mentioned Florida, and that one blew my mind a little bit because I definitely don't think Florida when I think hockey. But I think it's important, like you said, to raise that awareness. And there's so many people. I mean, I'm an Oklahoma girl. Of course, I grew up a Sooner fan, so obviously I always wanted to go to OU, but maybe you just don't want to go far from home. And if they're interested in hockey, this can be another avenue just to kind of reel them in a little bit. So, okay, so OSU does not have a hockey, am I correct? Or they
No,
have men's hockey.
they have men's hockey.
Okay.
I don't know. I've heard talks of maybe them trying to start one. I know Arkansas is.
Okay.
So there is a lot in the neighboring states that are trying to start one. Like even Texas is trying to
Okay.
start one too. So
Oh, wow.
you Texas rivalry, that would be a big one.
I will sign up for anything OU Texas and
Yes.
anything Bedlam for sure. In fact, my husband has never been to a hockey game ever in his life. And
We
I
gotta
know
change that.
we are changing it. He's actually really excited because he said he knows that I will prioritize getting up there to
Yes.
see you guys. But I did notice that Bedlam hockey for the men took place back in December, I believe it was, and we had something going on that day. Of course, I didn't catch it in time,
Yeah.
to kind of try to plan around it, but I was sad because by the time I caught it, I was like, I really want to go because it's Bedlam. We
Yep.
love all the Bedlam things, obviously, and then hockey. And my husband has made several mentions in the last couple of years, especially like we really need to go to a hockey game, and I'm like,
Oh,
you know, we don't really have any attachments to the Dallas Stars. I did go to a Stars game, but it's literally been
It's
like
not the same. It's Texas. We don't like Texas.
Yes, I know. No, we don't. We do not. So to have another team and a new sport, honestly, for the area is incredible, and especially
Yeah.
women's. Because my shirt, watch me. This is one of my favorite shirts because it really encompasses kind of what I'm trying to do. I've had a few like behind the scenes type people on. I have Carly Murray, she actually does sideline reporting for
Yeah.
baseball. She works for Sooner Sports Properties. Caitlin Fournier, she does fan relations for softball and women's gym and football. And Whitney, she's the assistant turf manager, takes care
Oh.
of track and field, softball, and some football as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
And so those people that are behind the scenes that don't get seen, don't get recognized, not that they're looking for recognition, but it's nice
They deserve
to
it.
be, they
Yeah.
do deserve it. It's
Yeah.
nice for them to get that acknowledgement. And I spoke with Caitlin that does fan relations, and she mentioned Whitney, and I immediately said, I've got to find her because this is incredible.
Yeah.
But it was so cool talking to her because I've gone to a few softball games and I wave at her from the
Yeah.
field and got to meet up with her. I pay more attention now to what she's doing on the field because a lot of times, we just show up. As
Yeah,
a
you
fan.
don't see the behind the scenes people.
Not at all. And I honestly don't pay a whole lot of attention. I just show up and the field is ready to go. And I don't
Yeah.
think twice about it. But talking to her really made me aware of all of that. And it made me want to shout from the rooftops like, hey, there's people, doing all the things that often get ignored or just not acknowledged. And then same with Caitlin. She's in charge of The light shows, the flyovers, all the music line up, and all the things like that. That again, we just show up and it does it.
Yeah.
And I've never
You're like,
thought
how did that
twice
happen?
about it. Like, okay, well, there it is, you know. So it's been incredible. And then for softball this season, there's been a lot of weather mishaps and
Yeah.
delays and reschedules. So it's been interesting talking to her about that and Whitney, because I'll text them and be like, okay, so did the field drain or did you get the
Yeah.
flyover rescheduled? And it's just crazy. It's a lot of details that
It
people
is.
are not aware of. This Friday, they're playing regionals. I'm
Yeah.
at the tennis center, so I'm going to stop in. I went to my first tennis match. It was men's a few weeks ago. And so it's just really cool for myself too, because I'm like, I'm going to go check out all these people.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't go watch tennis. And I mean, I love tennis anyway.
Yeah, no, a lot of people don't go watch, but I
They
mean,
don't.
it's a huge thing on our campus.
It
Like,
is. It really is.
they're really
And
good.
our teams are really good. And, you know, honestly, same with men's gymnastics. I
Mhm.
had the men's gymnastics coach on about a month ago, and he is awesome. And he's been at OU forever.
Yeah.
He was there when I was in college, but he is such a nice guy. And our men's gymnastics, we finish top 2, top 3 in the nation every year.
Yep. But we don't get that credit because of the
Nope.
women's.
And it's crazy, and I'm glad that the women's gymnastics are
Exactly.
getting,
Yes.
but
It
also
should
like I told Mark Williams, I said most of the time when people think about gymnastics, they do think about women, they don't think about men, and so that does make a little sense. But at the same time, like I have gone to several men's meets over the years as well, and it's a lot of fun, but it does kind of make me sad a little bit with McCaslin. I mean, the last time I did go in McCaslin, it was pretty full.
Mhm.
It was a big meet. Stanford was there,
Yeah.
which they were number 2 and we were number 1 at the time. I love talking to him and gaining that awareness again, just for another sport that often
Yeah.
gets overlooked, and for what reason?
No, I really think the biggest thing is awareness. Like, everyone
it is.
knows about the OU men's team because it's been around, but like even me going on campus and being like, does anyone want to join? They're like, oh, I've never heard of this before. And I'm like, well, I put flyers around campus. Like, it's just very much word of mouth and
It is.
getting those like sponsorships, and
Oh yeah.
so yeah.
It is. It's hard. And starting something from the ground up is incredibly overwhelming at times. And like you said, just gaining that awareness. So you've really done a great job doing that, and that's a lot of ambition even just to start that. But you have a passion for it.
Yes,
And
yes.
you can tell, and that helps. And that's why I think I enjoy doing what I do, because I
Yep.
love all things OU, and I have that passion. So that definitely makes a difference when you're trying to build something. So
Mhm. No,
anyway,
definitely the passion. And I feel like I've had some girls say, "Oh, I don't know yet." And I'm like, "I'm ready." Like, I'll get us there. I just need that support, you know?
yes, getting people on board with you.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I hope that you get lots of people on board with you, and
Yeah.
I will do the best I can to help you gain
Thank you.
awareness, and I plan to come and watch, hopefully more than once, but I will
Yes.
definitely make at least one trip for sure. Do you have anything else you want to share, talk about?
No, I just think if the Instagram is OU Women's Hockey, we kind of are re-updating it, refreshing it, making it more concise together.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a Facebook and a Twitter.
Okay.
And our biggest thing right now is definitely fundraising. Like, if sponsorships, if anyone would want to reach out and sponsor our team, that would be amazing as well.
Okay. I'm very excited again. I know I've said it 1,000 times, but I really am, because I think it's so cool that you have the passion and desire to do this. And I know it's a lot of work, but I hope that you get all the people on board and all the sponsors and all the things. So are you guys going to have jerseys for fans?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
Once we get our jerseys situated and the full roster, we're actually gonna open up a shop to where you can get jerseys, sweatshirts, any apparel.
Okay, perfect. Well, I will be one of the first orders.
Yes.
I'm excited. I will share that. Any closing thoughts before we wrap up? Anything else?
Just thank you for having me on here. I really appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, well, you're very welcome. I'm so excited to help you
Yes.
in whatever way I can get the word out there.
I Yes. Yes, and I look forward to meeting you at the games,
Oh,
hopefully.
absolutely. Yes, I will definitely let you know when I'm coming because I have to meet you for
Yes,
sure.
I
So anyway,
appreciate that.
thank you so much for
Yes, thank
telling
you
us,
for having me.
of course, all the things about OU women's hockey, and I'm pumped to see you guys this fall. So it's going to be
Yes.
awesome. Yeah, Boomer Sooner, baby.
Boomer sooner.